Welcome back to the For the Badge podcast. It's been an exciting couple of days in the FA Cup, and we will get to all the action. But first, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, get the notification bell on so we can get plenty more videos coming at you. I think that there are plenty of good results I wasn't so fond of, but where do we want to start? Lewis, why don't we start with...
I know where we should start.
Yeah, there you go. Where should we start?
Good old Tottenham. Listen, after Sunday, I gotta find some Schadenfreude somewhere.
There you go. Yes, nice word drop. I loved this result. Gotta say,
yeah.
I mean, for very obvious reasons, but I did just watch these highlights, and it was poor.
That bad, huh?
As you might expect, it was just not a quality game at all.
They were still probably celebrating beating Chelsea 2-0.
Yeah.
Like it means something this year.
Did y'all hear? I think I heard that Sheffield made 8 changes to the team that played in the league.
Really?
Wow.
Are you joking me? I think
wow.
Yeah. Incredible.
That's insane.
Incredible. They had the only shot on goal. Just the one. Oh man, but it was even on possession. Yeah, this game, Tottenham are shambles, and I absolutely love it. What's insane to me is that Chelsea are absolutely in the mud. But Tottenham are almost like, and it made me think of the question you asked again, Lewis. It's like, because Tottenham just seem absolutely awful, and yet they're 4 points clear in 4th place.
It's the league. I'm telling you, the league this year has just not been quality. And it's not because of Chelsea. I'm not saying that. But, I mean, Liverpool's been not good. They're starting to come into some form. Of course, Chelsea. Who else? Leicester's usually competing at some level. I mean, you go down the list and you're just like, these teams. And, I mean, credit Brighton and Brentford and Fulham for, taking up the best spots that they can, because usually they wouldn't be in these spots. But I just the quality is lacking, even though the talent is there, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of VAR. I don't know if it's because of officiating. Officiating's been terrible this year. I mean, I don't know, and I'm not taking anything away from Arsenal because they have been incredible, and they would be winning the league pretty much any year that at this point. But I don't know. It just seems like the quality is a little off, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, Antonio. Go ahead, Lou.
Games, man. There's too many games.
That's true. That's true.
It's too many. It's funny because I think the real investigation of the postmortem of how the World Cup has affected league play will not be seen until the start of next season. Maybe next year, but next season. Because you can tell, you can just see that the World Cup had a significant impact on the players. And I'm not even talking physically, mentally, it had an impact on players where some guys, they went there and came back and they didn't know how to play soccer anymore. Or some guys went there and they played wonderfully and then they got back to their teams and who is this person? And so it's weird because the English have the most games anyways. They have three domestic tournaments? I understand English football has 14 levels or whatever. I think there's a league 4.
I think there's 8.
It's something insane.
It's a lot. Yeah.
There's football everywhere, so they have to have tournaments everywhere, and I get that. But at the same time, do you really want to do that to the top flight? Do they have to participate in everything? That doesn't make sense to me, man.
Would you agree that they should have, when the World Cup was moved to December and they knew it was going to be disruption to the season, why not just skip this year's League Cup?
That would have been a good idea.
Or at least, like you say, let the Premier League teams drop out of it.
Well, because for example, and the only reason I don't even know if this cup exists anymore, but I mean, I play FIFA occasionally, like I have it, but I don't really play it. I'm such an adult because I spend money on stuff I don't use, but whatever, you know. But I remember playing FIFA a couple of years back, and I always habitually run a season with Ipswich Town or Peterborough United because I live near those places when I lived in, and so there's like an affinity just to play around like that. And a lot of times in those teams, they're normally lower than the championship, and so they play. I don't know what the name is, but it was like the Johnston Paint Trophy or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
And so
EFL trophy, right?
no, it's lower than that. It's lower
Even
than
lower.
EFL.
Wow. Okay.
It's lower than that one because like the Premier League teams don't play in that tournament, and so it's like League One and down, and it's crazy because League One teams play in that tournament. Plus, they can play in all the above tournaments. They can play in the EFL Cup and they can play in the FA Cup because the FA Cup for a lot of them start in September. It's some insane start that they have for
The lower league teams. Yeah.
And so you look at that and you're like, I understand you have a fulfilling teams, but you can't have tournaments for everybody, man. And now it's a business. So at the end of the day, because it's a business, I'm not going to knock them for doing what's right for business. But your business will suffer when the quality is diminished, when the level of play of the players is less. And I'll just leave that there.
Yeah, well, that's why I thought that your suggestion was sound. Just let the Prem team drop out. Or let us play the youth squad. Let us play a U20 team or the reserve team or something, you
The
know?
PL2 teams.
They have those teams, yeah. Let them play.
Why not, you know? And I think you made a good point about some of these guys that were decent at the World Cup, had a good showing, and then have just flopped it. Richarlison came on for Harry Kane in this game. This man had the goal of the tournament, arguably the best goal of the World Cup, that bicycle kick for Brazil, hasn't scored for Tottenham.
Club and country.
I mean, I get it. It's Brazil, and Brazil are obviously going to create a lot more than Tottenham. They're not playing this 5-back, let's sit and soak pressure system. It's Brazil. They don't. I don't think I've ever seen Brazil do anything of the sort. But I mean, he has got nothing. He scored nothing. And I'm the biggest Tottenham hater there is, obviously, but he ain't that bad.
No.
He was good at Everton. Like he was one of the main guys at Everton, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like, even on an objective level, I'm just shocked that they're still in fourth place. Yeah, I mean, how do you lose to Sheffield's second team, the B team? I can't even even the highlights looked pretty even. Tottenham were having to take shots outside the box, a lot of side to side. But yeah, credit Sheffield United. Blades roll on. You love to see it.
Definitely you do.
Let's see a couple other couple other games in the FA Cup. Move on to let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and get it out of the way. Manchester United with the comeback late on.
Comeback for the ages.
Yeah, must be said, Garnacho's goal is well taken. I don't know if y'all seen the highlights of this one. It was a good goal.
I saw his goal. That's all I saw.
Yeah, he was definitely calm when it came to him in the box. Nice touch, brings it down. Corner pocket. It's a good goal. Gotta give credit where it's due. But West Ham blew this one, man. Straight up, they blew it. Antonio had a breakaway. And as much as Man United's getting all this praise, I think De Gea is going a little bit under the radar. His performances have been pretty good He's been.
He
Oh, yeah,
plays
he's
all the
had some-
time. Like they don't even play their other keeper.
He's
Yeah,
got
he's-
500 starts with them.
It's
Good.
insane. He plays all the time.
That is
He's been. Yeah, that's wild. But he's been decent of late too. I've been critical of him in the past. He's had some stretches where he's just been awful, but he's bolstered. I think he's bolstered, obviously, as you would expect, by the good run they're on. Saeed bin Rama's goal in this one was good for West Ham, but other than that, some woeful misses. Antonio's got 2 breakaways. Should do better. This one should at least been 3-3. Do they do replays in the 5th round?
yeah.
Or would it have gone to
With
overtime?
extra time.
Oh, really? They would gone over extra time?
I think no, you're right. I think in the round this round they're in now, they'll just go to extra time. But yeah, that's right. They'd go to replays.
But yeah, I
Okay.
mean, and they had a goal. Manchester United had a goal disallowed. That was a carbon copy of the Carabao Cup goal with Casemiro.
Greatest holding midfielder ever to breathe the word holding midfielder.
Greatest goal scoring holding midfielder
Yes.
that there's ever been. Look at him lighting up the score sheet.
He hugged the fan. The greatest person to ever hug a fan ever.
Hey, don't leave Fred out, man. Fred got the icing on the cake here in the 95th.
Almost center defensive midfielder ever.
Once again, you just hate to see it. You just hate to see this one. The narrative continues. Old Captain Maguire back there did Maguire things, but they were able to pull this one out, and hopefully, once again, they play a better team. They drew Fulham, but
That'll be interesting.
I think it's at Old Trafford though, so
It is at Old Trafford.
Yeah, they're still gonna win.
it's Old Trafford, man. Nobody wins at Old Trafford. That's
so
it's a fortress.
Yeah, it looks like they're setting it up for an old Manchester derby in there somewhere.
please let that happen. Please. Oh man, I want to see another double hat trick. Foden Alvarez and Holland.
That's if Pep plays Foden regularly, because I'm confused. I don't know how regular the lineups are, so I'll leave that alone.
Yeah. Who knows? I would love to see that. But segues are weird. Manchester City pretty much swept Bristol City aside. Any thoughts on the game? It's kind of expected.
Glad to see Foden has some form. Glad to see Alvarez play. Nathan Ake has learned how to go forward, which means he might be a threat going forward from center half or left back or wherever he gets stuck out there.
Right? Well, you got the winner versus Arsenal.
But I mean, what I'm talking about, you can see he's making better runs now, because like the one there was like off a set. This is him like in open play where he was making runs, and his movement is actually causing some disruption. So I think that's pretty cool. I think they're talking about extending his contract as well as extending Alvarez's contract, as they should. So I mean, it's good for those guys to find form, because we got what is this? There's 3 more away games City has to play for the next 3 fixtures, Cup and League. It's good for them to have some kind of form. And Haaland didn't have to touch the ball at all, so that was great.
I think because I like to be nitpicky on City performances, I'll ask you about Calvin Phillips. What do you think?
I will say that if you follow the social media boards, the verdict is when they brought him and brought him in, he was supposed to be like the next guy, and then he got injured, got fat, and then went to the World Cup, and then nobody knows what happened to him. And does he have talent? Apparently, yes, he did have talent, because I watched him play in the national team, and he was very good in England before his injury. I don't know what he's doing, I'm not saying he's a good or a bad player, but I don't know what he's doing because he's not playing like the guy that they bought.
Exactly.
And I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of rumors about City wanting to buy some central midfielders, which is a bit confusing since we need a winger. We don't have any wingers. I'm saying that out loud again, because there's a rumor that they want to go after Chelsea's Kovacic for City, and there was another holding mid, and
I don't understand that move.
I don't either. They said Declan Rice as well, which I don't. I mean, he's good, but
that one's better.
Yeah, I could see Declan Rice being a good move for y'all.
Isn't Kovacic 1,000 years old at this point?
I think he's 29.
But I mean, Declan Rice plays. I mean, would he play over Roger? Because I mean, who is he replacing in the midfield?
No, I don't think he would play.
It's like for like. Why would he go there to not play?
It's the same thing as Calvin Phillips. Phillips ain't playing.
But see, Phillips. But we knew Phillips. Phillips is what, 23 or 24.
So is Declan Rice.
Yeah, but the Declan Rice is like, no disrespect to Calvin Phillips. Declan Rice is good though, and so and I don't mean it like that, but I mean like
goal he scored last game out.
If you put Declan
I know.
You expect him to start, and I mean, does he start over? I mean, do you play 2 double pivots because he's in there? I mean, we already like to pass backwards and sideways. I mean, what is that going to do?
I mean, but you're always in 4 competitions. Talk about fixture, you know.
Yeah, but Pep don't rotate. Now, you've seen him; he doesn't rotate. So what do you mean? That like at that point, it doesn't matter. We could have a fulfilling people on the bench. He doesn't rotate players. Like Grealish has played what, 8 consecutive games. Yeah. Mahrez would have played like 8 as well if he didn't get that one game as a rest. He plays the same guys all the time.
Yeah,
and he doesn't substitute in the game, or he does it at like the 75th minute.
He did it at halftime in this one.
That's because the game was over, man. He doesn't care.
Bristol, yeah. Good God, it was 70-30 possession, 16 shots to 5. Yeah.
I actually watched it.
Oh yeah.
I thought City looked like City, Bristol City. I mean, for a lower level club, they held their own. I mean, I didn't think they were going to win at any point, mind you. But there was a chance for City to turn this into a 6-7-0, and they didn't. I know it ended up 3-0, but you got to credit Bristol City because it was there for a big score line, especially scoring so early because it was easy. That first goal was easy. And of course, the KDB goal was fantastic. I mean, he's scoring that in the Premier League. The way he hit that, the bounce it took, yeah, he's scoring that in the Premier League. So, I mean, I thought Bristol City did well. I thought City showed some positive signs, but as we were talking about before, is KDB bored, or is it that there's just a lack of focus right now? Because that's what City looks like sometimes, especially in that game. There was a little bit of lack of focus, especially after they got that first goal. It seemed like, okay, we're going to roll them over, and they ended up doing that, but it took some more time than it probably should have.
They get complacent for some reason after the first one. They've done that like the last 3 or 4 matches where they just are like, we got one, we're good.
They were complete. I mean, how could you not be though? Like, I get it, they're professionals, and as a fan, it makes me cringe, but I understand it. I mean, these are 4 champions, 4 of the last 5 seasons, and they're playing Bristol no-name City. Come on. Of course they're going to be casual.
It was the battle for the right to call themselves City, and well, of course, City won.
Yeah. City move on. We're hoping they're going to see United at some point in the tournament. Who did y'all draw?
Burnley.
Burnley, that's right. Yes.
Going to play
love them though.
Company's group.
Got to send them home. We love them though.
Oh, man. Speaking of Burnley, they made it hard work against Fleetwood Town, who went down to 10 men in the 45th minute. It took them till the 90th to get a 1-0 victory.
Wow.
So Cup classic, I suppose. Man, what a story that would be. If Company comes back and knocks City out the cup. Is
Well,
that
there's
at
your new
that?
there's your new manager at that point.
Oh yeah, he's the next one. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's because it was going to be Arteta, and it proved the right because Arteta is an excellent manager. But it looks like Vinny probably will be the next one because I mean he was at Anderlecht. No, he did his badges, then he did Anderlecht, and then he was there for a bit, and then he got this opportunity. And I mean, even though it's Burnley and everybody thought, Burnley is garbage, most Chelsea fans hate Burnley for obvious reasons. But, he's done well with them. But he can't take over until Pep leaves, and that's at least for 2 more seasons. So,
Yeah, and they're crushing it in the championship. So we're
Yeah, they
definitely,
are.
definitely. I mean, we will at least expect to see them next season in the Premier League.
Yeah, fully expect them.
Speaking of teams that we won't see in the Premier League next season, how do you lose to a team 47 places below you? Grimsby Town goes to
Harry the Haddock. Let's go.
Grimsby taking down Southampton. Good grief, man.
Again, they won a match and they've been just celebrating it ever since, and it really shows.
I mean, Ward-Prowse didn't even play in this game. I get not taking Grimsby Town seriously, but you still gotta, handle them. It was at home. It was at Southampton.
Yeah. They went down 2-0, didn't they?
Yeah, it was nuts. Two penalties, but still. How do you lose to Grimsby Town? I think Grimsby got they drew Sheffield.
hold on.
No, Grimsby's got Brighton.
Hold
Oh
on.
man.
That's,
And Sheffield's got Blackburn.
That might be a decent one.
That could be a fun tie.
But yeah, Grimsby, Southampton's one thing. Brighton will smash, especially since Brighton went to Stokes on a rainy, cold
Stoke on a
Tuesday
rainy night. You know it.
And the goal that they scored was a straight up FIFA goal. Nice little crossover tap into an empty net. But Stokes gave him a go.
it's the Brighton's manager audition to take over Chelsea.
So
Where's
y'all
X?
they should bring in De Zerbi now?
That was the rumor.
I don't know where that rumor came from because none of the
rumor.
people I follow have picked up on that rumor.
That is hilarious.
Chelsea feels like they need to go to Brighton to find their managers, so that's where they're gonna go.
Oh my god. Yeah, from these highlights, Brighton were just all over them. Stoke were doing their thing, playing real physical, but yeah, Matoma looked like he ran him ragged on the left. Ferguson gets the tap in, and Brighton get an easy draw. Going through, looking like they're gonna have an
gonna
easy
be
one.
at Wembley.
Hey man, don't underestimate. I mean, Southampton underestimated Grimsby, and look where they're at. They're
Harry the Haddock. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Don't count them out.
I mean, it's the same time Coach Lasso was coming back. I'm just saying, there's a reason that Coach Lasso was.
It is
nice.
Nice. Which we should get. I'm telling you, I think we should get a sponsorship for that. I mean, we will plug it all day long.
Yeah, I love Coach Lasso. This is the last season too, so I'm.
I know it's sad.
Yeah, shout out Coach Lasso, absolutely. Oh man. Speaking of teams that have a little place in your heart, the Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah.
From back in the day, I remember Alan Shearer at the Blackburn Rovers when I was just a wee little thing. 2-1 over Leicester at the KP.
Which leads to our favorite question of the week. How does Brendan Rodgers still have a job?
We know.
Yeah, we do know.
Goodness gracious. Iheanacho scores again, but they couldn't do it. They
Too
could
little, too
beat
late.
Blackburn at home. I don't even. What do you even say? Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm just
Yeah.
shocked. Brendan Rodgers is still in the job.
As long as they don't get relegated, he's not going anywhere.
Well, the way they're playing right now,
They could
because
get relegated.
They're not going to get relegated. I put money on that, and I don't bet.
yeah,
They're not getting relegated.
I don't know, man. They've been poor. It's finally starting to catch up to them, and it's good to see. Not that I don't like Leicester, but I think I think there are certain things you deserve with performances that you put out, and they don't deserve much. I didn't see this one, but I watched a little bit of the highlights. It didn't look good. Didn't look good. And when you're losing to Blackburn, I'm pretty sure their championship team at home doesn't bode well for moving forward.
Yeah.
But
So Blackburn have history, and that's what matters. Like, for example, Juve, when I sent you the text, and Juve got docked points, and Juve is going to make Europa.
hey,
I
man,
know, that's
remember my
insane.
response to that? Not that I think this is going to happen, but they're in the Europa, which win it, and they're still in Champions League after being docked 15 points. But yeah, I don't see that happening. Someone else is in that tournament that I think might have a nice shot.
Oh, yes.
Yes, the mighty Manchester United.
Yeah, lay it on thick. Go ahead. Yeah.
Ten Hag. It's destiny for.
I see you've drank the Kool-Aid, like I've been saying. That's yeah.
That's what the news wants me to say.
Yeah, hey, fair enough. Fair enough. Did you catch the Fulham game? Catch the highlights of the Fulham Leeds?
I caught the highlights, and the Solomon goal was just
The Paulinho goal.
the Paulina goal too.
Both of these goals were sick and dirty. Yeah, Solomon scored in 4 straight games now. Super sub, killing the game. And I think he should be starting for me. 100% should start at Brentford on Saturday. Fulham go to Old Trafford in the FA Cup. I will be backing them, praying to the gods of soccer that the Old Trafford VAR cameras get broken somehow.
They are broken. What are you talking about?
No, they're functional. They just ignore them.
Same thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, the FA Cup moves on to the quarterfinals. The fixtures get even more spicy, and we're looking forward to that. Well, I know I've had a good time on this one. Thanks for listening. It's been the For the Badge podcast. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Get the notification bell on. We will be back before you know it with plenty more. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.